Hey everyone, so this is part 2 of studying. I'm still on video. This is part 2 of studying.
If you have some behaviors that are risky or dangerous, those will take priority. Also, be familiar with any procedures you have to implement and have all your materials ready. So this includes having all your devices charged, your flashcards ready, your reinforcers in hand, and other devices.
Hey y'all, so this is talking about skill, behavior. Hold on, I'll tell you. Skill after 60 frames. And how Punisher is something that decreases over time. And then a reinforcer increases over time. And it also talks about and conditions, which unconditionings, I basically think of it as necessities. Things that you don't need to learn. It's things that you already know, you're already familiar with, things like that. Whereas conditions is things that you have to, it's things that are useful things in life that you might not know about, but you have to learn. So, for example, for unconditioned, it would be life, it would be water, food, shelter, things like that. Whereas conditions would be like maybe a favorite TV show, a car, books, music, things like that.
Becomes a reinforcer itself. So the example that's always used is the bell with Pavlov's dog. A bell doesn't do anything to a dog. But when you pair a bell with something like food, now the bell can elicit a response.
y'all, this is talking about fixed interval, variable ratio, variable interval, and fixed ratio. So fixed ratio means that it's gonna occur at exact time, every single time. That's what fixed means. Ratio means it's gonna occur around that time. It's kind of hard to explain, but and then but variable interval means it's gonna happen like it needs that amount of time to recharge into. You need to take that certain amount of time to recharge before it'll happen again. And then fixed interval is where you it takes that certain amount of time to recharge. A certain amount of time. Okay, y'all, so I'm about to go to bed. But I was editing this video and I wanted to tell y'all what I meant by fixed ratio, fixed interval, variable interval, and variable ratio. So fixed ratio is a set time of like of responses. So a teacher calling on you like every 3 responses or every 5 responses. That's fixed ratio. Fixed interval would be like every 3 hours you take your dog on a walk. So you have to get that time to pass, some time to pass before you can do it again. So it's basically recharging it. And then with variable interval, it'll be the same concept, but you do it. You take your dog on a walk maybe every 2 hours, or maybe it's every 3 hours, 4 hours. But on average, it's about every 3 hours. You have to take your dog on a walk. So that means variable ratio. Variable interval. And then variable ratio is, on average, the teacher calls on you about every response. So like, she calls on you maybe this time is twice, every 2 responses. Or the next time is every 4 responses. That's variable ratio. I just want to clarify that before I continue with it.
DTT is a subset of ABA therapy which breaks down skills into smaller or discrete steps, and it's usually done at a table. This is what most people imagine when you tell them that you're about to do an ABA session. It became popular after a 1987 Lovas paper published that showed that DTT is very effective for kids with autism. So in DTT, we have trials. And the trials are like this. You present the discriminative stimulus, or SD, and that's usually just an instruction, okay? Then they either do the correct response and you reinforce, or they have an incorrect response and then you prompt the correct response. And that's basically it in a nutshell. And then you just go on to the next trial. So let's talk about some techniques used in DTT. So the first thing you should know is mass trial. Mass trial is when you present the same instruction, or SD, over and over every single time.
Okay, y'all, so in this one, he's talking about the difference between mass trial and mixed trial. Mass trial is when you do the same thing over and over and over again. Like, if I give an SD and I expect my patient to do it, like I'm gonna use my little girl. Okay, so we're doing math problems, and I expect her to do math, so we're doing math in one of our trials, and I'm trying to get her to do it over and over again, practice her skills, and then improve them. And then the mixed trial is the difference. You switch up the SD, so if I'm doing math with her 1 minute, then I do the asking her questions the next. That's different. That's different between mixed and math.
This is good, so that the child can learn to discriminate between the different SDs, or instructions. So an example of this is random rotation. Random rotation is when you have
Okay, I'm gonna talk about other things. Math card without distractions is you give them not the same thing without no distractions at all. So the one I was giving is like math. So I'm giving her math. There's no distractions. We're in a silent room with no other people. It's just me and her, and we're going over math. That's without distractions. But with distractions, there's a million other things going on. And it's easy to distract her, like if another patient's in the room and he's working on a story or other things, it's to distract her. So that's distraction for with distraction. And then random rotation is you can do many things in that section. But she will get distracted from it. And she already knows it. So this one, I'm going to use a different section. So if somebody knows, like if another patient knows different steps in his story, and we can just randomly rotate the questions, like we can ask him, what did they do first? Did they make lemonade, set up the table? And then the other question is, how they make the lemonade? And you switch up those two trials, then they're able to answer it because they only want it. And that's kind of going into maintenance. Maintenance is where you have a skill that's with your client and they already mastered it, and you're just kind of like throwing it back at them to see if they still know it and then they still get it right, kind of thing.
Throw in that flashcard or whatever they learned into random rotation. Some skills can also be generalized, and this is called generalization.
Okay, y'all. And then generalization means you take a skill that the patient's wanting and they can apply it to a different setting, a different person, or something like that. So, what's just like hand washing? They hand wash it at our center. But they can also hand wash at home. They're taking that skill they want in our center or with us, and they're generalizing it to somewhere else. And now we're talking about natural environment. Natural environment is basically where you take a skill that you won through discrete trial training, which is at the table, and you're taking it and implementing it in a different environment. So let's just say at the table somebody's wanting the number. Okay, and we'll go to the playroom and we see numbers and we kind of like teach them that at the playroom too. So that's natural environment because they're wanting it at the table and they're wanting it out in the environment where they are, like in the playroom or in the game room. They're wanting their numbers, things like that. y'all. And then chaining is forward chaining is basically taking the first step until you get to the last step. So like washing hands, it would be you take some patience how to turn on the faucet and how to. I like to rinse my hands first and then get soap. But other people are different. But that's what I would do. That's the order I would do it. That's forward chaining. Backwards chaining is you take the last step and you go backwards to the first step. So let's just say tying shoes. So for tying shoes, you would teach them how to like do the little tie the little bows together like that. You know what I'm talking about. You take the bows and then tie them. And that's backwards chaining. Total chaining is how you take a skill and you teach them all at once. So for lemonade, you teach them how to get the lemon, so you make it that way, or like the lemon powder, or whatever you use for it, and then the sugar, and then you do it all at once until you get it. That's total chaining. So for the stimulation training, you basically taking one characteristic and changing it. So if you're teaching them how to do shapes, you can have the same color, but you can have different shapes. Vice versa for colors. If you're teaching them colors, you can have the same shape. Let's say I'm going to have a star for all the colors. And then you're going to have the colors to the different, the different characteristics. So that's just stimulation. So y'all, I'm gonna conclude this part of the video, and I'm gonna do another part, but this concludes part 2. So if you like this part, make sure you like and comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye everyone.